13. April, 1965. Dearest Suzie. No mail today, so I don't have a letter to answer, but I thought I'd write anyway. Today was pretty long for us. It started off easy enough. I went to the range this morning and shot up loads of rockets. We were there to go out again in the range this afternoon, but just as we took off, we got a call that one of our ships had went down. So we took off to find it. When we did find it, it was Litt. Nobody was hurt, and he made a good landing. Our maintenance people flew a new engine out and put it in and flew the ship out. We finally finished this evening at 7:30, but it was all worth the work. That is one ship the VC couldn't destroy. Lieutenant Tucker, the other pilot that we lost, was officially listed as dead today, so they are having services for him in Saigon tomorrow. We could go, but I don't feel like going through another memorial service right now. As far as I'm concerned, the services we had last week was for him also, so I'm not going tomorrow. Otherwise, things remain the same with me. I'm getting along okay, just eating my heart out with loneliness, and love for you, and my 3 sons. I miss you all very much, and I'm still counting days. 163. All my love, Bill. Today's letter is short, but a little heavy, though not in the ways you might expect. Popi writes after a long day, one that started with a rocket range run and quickly shifted when a fellow pilot's chopper went down. That kind of pivot feels familiar by now. 1 minute, you're training. The next, you're scrambling to rescue a friend. Thankfully, the pilot, Popi's friend, Litt, walked away, and the chopper was repaired and flown out by nightfall. That is one ship the VC couldn't destroy, Popi writes. It's a small victory in a war that rarely offers them. But even in a letter that opens with relief, death is close by. Popi shares that Lieutenant Tucker, the missing pilot from a previous operation, was officially declared dead. The memorial service is scheduled for tomorrow in Saigon, but Popi says he won't go. As far as I'm concerned, he writes, the services we had last week was for him also. He's not being callous. It's exhaustion. These services aren't ceremonial anymore. They're constant reminders. And he's reached a point where mourning isn't something you pause for. It's something you carry. Though there was no mention of it in his letter, I feel it is important to note that April 14th, 1965, the day after this was written, marks the beginning of the U.S. military's Operation Fact Sheet. Beginning in 1965, Operation Fact Sheet was part of a broader effort by the United States Information Service to push anti-communist messaging deep into rural parts of South Vietnam. Leaflets were a big part of this. Printed materials airdropped over villages or handed out by South Vietnamese soldiers. Each one came with a fact sheet, typically on a single sheet of paper, often illustrated and sometimes printed in multiple dialects depending on the region. These weren't just basic propaganda. They were carefully tailored to the fears, loyalties, and everyday concerns of the people they targeted. The goal was to counter Viet Cong influence in areas where U.S. and army control was weak. But the irony of Operation Fact Sheet, and other psyops like it, was how little impact they actually had. It turns out, when your village is caught between two fighting forces, what people say in leaflets doesn't matter nearly as much as who controls the land you're standing on, and sometimes those leaflets made people targets. Popi wasn't directly involved in Operation Fact Sheet, at least not by name, but we know from earlier letters that he participated in similar psychological operations, flying missions where helicopters broadcast recorded messages through loudspeakers or dropping pamphlets over the countryside. We don't know what those messages said, but odds are they weren't that different from the ones printed on those fact sheets. Appeals to patriotism, warnings about the dangers of communism, promises of a better life under U.S. protection. The photo I chose for today was taken from a cockpit. The control panel is blurry and in the foreground. In the background are 2 helicopters flying in the air. They appear to be making a turn in formation. I'm Alex Lowy, and I hope you have enjoyed listening to this episode of Dearest Suzie, and receiving messages from the past that my Popi wrote exactly 60 years ago. I sincerely appreciate your time and interest. Please consider following the podcast on your preferred platform, and if you're enjoying it, I kindly ask that you take the time to rate the show and leave a review. Also, please follow the project on YouTube, X, and Instagram. All likes, comments, shares, and reviews will help grow the reach of this story. The links for these things should be in the description of this episode. Please feel free to email me at dearestsuziepodcast@gmail.com if you have anything you'd like to say. I'd love to chat or to hear about your stories as well. Thank you for listening, and God bless.